Well, shiver my timbers and shiver my soul, because on May 12th we're getting another live Muppet script reading, this time hitting the Seven Seas as they take on Muppet Treasure Island. As always, Tough Pigs is on board to present the official companion podcast, which I can luckily do on land because this is true, I get awful seasickness. Joining me, as always, is the show's director and producer and a good friend to us at Tough Pigs, it's Matt Wilkie. Hi, Matt.
Yo ho ho!
I don't know, I wasn't expecting that and it threw me.
Well, expecting unexpected today.
My first guest is an actor, voice actor, comedian, and improviser who's appeared in shows like Dropouts, Make Some Noise, and Game Changer, as well as games like The Last of Us 2 and Halo Infinite. They were also apparently in an episode of Full House. Is that true?
Yes. A very long time ago.
Very long time ago. They've played Rizzo in the last two live script readings, so they're back again. They put the rat in Pirate. It's Erika Ishii. Hi, Erika.
Hello! Happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. My second guest is an actor, comedian, and writer who's appeared in shows like one of my personal favorites, Adam Ruins Everything, as well as Dropouts, Game Changer, Dimension 20, and Actually. She played Lady Holiday in the live script reading of The Great Muppet Caper, and she returns to the stage to play Jim Hawkins in Muppet Treasure Scriptland. Hawkins once sang...
Please, sir.
Hawkins once sang there's got to be something better, but there's no one better than Siobhan Thompson. Hi, Siobhan.
There's gotta be something better.
Wonderful.
Something better. I'm very excited.
Excited.
My whole career has been leading up to this.
I was going to say, I'm excited to have you both here. And well, I mean, let's just jump straight in. First, we'll start with you, Matt. You've known you were going to do this for a very long time. I remember talking to you about this particular script reading when you were organising Caper.
Right, yeah.
How's it been setting this one up? What's been the challenges and the differences?
Well, everyone has its own challenges and differences. The great thing about Muppet Treasure Island, though, is that it feels very, very much like a musical. I think more than any of the other ones, especially like when you're watching it, like the sets are a little flatter, but it feels like it's a stage production. Mm-hmm. So this one I feel is going to translate really, really well. And so we're really excited. We've got a great cast in addition to these two lovelies here. We also have Mr. Brennan Lee Mulligan that everyone is very excited about, that he's going full circle in his own career as well, where he's playing Long John Silver with his infamous Tim Curry impression. And that was kind of the goal when we first started planning this one. I was like, we need Brennan. And we got him. And then we've also got like so many wonderful, wonderful people. Siobhan told me back when we did Muppet Caper, how much she loves singing in falsetto. And I said, well,
have we got the role for you?
I went to church schools all through school because, much like the Australian school system, that's just what schools are in England. And so I was a big time choir kid, but in England that means singing a lot of hymns and madrigals. And it's such a specific type of singing that is completely useless in my day to day, but is also the kid who played Jim Hawkins was like a chorister. And so that's the type of singing I have been trained to do.
Well, boy soprano. You learned
like
boy
I
soprano.
can sing like a boy soprano, yes.
Well, if I remember, what's his name? Kevin Bishop, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin
That's
Bishop,
right, yeah.
if I remember, he recorded temp tracks and then his voice broke and he couldn't sing like that anymore. So I think his songs in the film are his temp tracks before his voice broke.
That happens so often. We did Oliver as one of the big musicals in school, and the kid playing Oliver, his voice started breaking the week of performances.
Oh no.
And he had to just be like, there's nothing you can do. He had such a beautiful angelic voice, and then he was just like chugging ginger tea backstage, but you can't unbreak a voice once it's broken.
No.
Actually, fun lore about me is that my middle school production of Oliver, I actually played the violin for it, and they sort of made a weird duet between me and Fagin. So for reviewing the situation, I did like a klezmer solo with it was like a conversation, and it actually absolutely ripped. But one of our
great.
Olivers,
they should do that.
It's great. They should do that in more productions. But
Yes.
they had two, like they sort of like double cast,
Uh-huh.
probably to to guard against the eventuality of voice breaking. One of the Olivers was played by AJ Holmes of Star Kid fame.
Oh,
Oh wow.
amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah. We've been in sort of comedy circles forever.
Fun fact. So I was in my school production. We did High School Musical,
Oh, wow.
which was great fun. And the kid who was playing Troy, his voice broke again that week. And there's a line in Breaking Free where he really just has to like belt out, "We're breaking free," like that. And his voice broke during that line. Now that happened to be the one they filmed, and so I have that on
Oh,
DVD.
no.
And you can just see me and the girl playing my girlfriend on stage just like grab each other, like don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. So just I get it. I get it. And I'm hoping Siobhan, your voice doesn't break that week.
I
Oh,
hope
I'm
so too. We had a girl playing Artful Dodger,
Hmm.
so I don't know why they, but I mean also the kid, but Bertie Vanderbeek is his name that was playing Oliver. He was excellent. He was great at it. He
That's
just
such an
also
English name.
got really unlucky. Yeah.
it sounds so made up. It sounds so made up.
It really
Bertie
does.
Vanderbeek.
It really does. And then his sister who was in my year was Theodora Vanderbeek.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, you're making these up. Um, well, Erica, how familiar were you with the Muppets growing up? Because, like, especially you've played Rizzo now a couple of times, and you can really channel that essence. So I've got to assume you've been watching Rizzo since you were little.
Yes, yes. Muppets is such a cornerstone of my childhood for sure. I grew up, I was, plopped in front of the TV to watch Sesame Street,
Mm.
and, all the sort of surrounding PBS of it all.
Hmm.
I loved the Muppets. And so Muppet Christmas Carol definitely happened every year, especially actually in
Yeah.
high school.
Hmm.
And Muppet Treasure Island was huge for me for two reasons. Number one, because I loved pirates. I loved pirates growing up. My parents actually, my dad built a little pirate ship in the backyard out of scrap wood for my
Really? That's amazing.
yeah, for my fourth birthday. I had a Peter Pan birthday. And like we're in LA, so we would hire like our my parents' out of work actor friends, to be like my gymnastics coach played Peter Pan, and he ended up loving it so much that he ended up being the Peter Pan in Fantasmic. And so like my childhood, the line between fantasy and reality was very, very blurry indeed. But
This
also,
honestly, this unlocks a lot of puzzles I have about you. This
right,
makes
it kind of
makes a
makes
lot of
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then also, we got a computer fairly late as a family when I was in seventh
Hmm.
grade. And like there were a handful of games, like CD-ROMs we had for it, and one of them was the Muppet Treasure Island CD-ROM game.
I love it.
And it was so much fun for me. It's so silly. There's like a tomato throwing
Hmm.
game. You
Great.
have to like find different rocks with the like, and our computer was very, very slow. We did not have a good computer, so like some hand me down. And so it was always like a struggle. My sisters and I would sit in front of the computer and just sort of like press a thing and wait and like
Hmm.
hope that it would move on to the next one, because you never knew, especially in those sort of like FMV, CD-ROM game eras. So I
Uh-huh.
like grew up, like I have so much of that movie and the characters and the plot all just really in there, committed to memory.
Yeah, I was just turning looking there. I have the CD-ROM game as well, and I found it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
Oh,
used to speed run that on a Saturday morning. Like my family would get up or like they'd go to like, my brother played soccer or whatever it was, and I would speed run Muppet Treasure Island, the CD-ROM game. I think I got that down to about an hour and 20 minutes. I used to be able to speed run that.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's
Which
amazing.
you listen to it and you go, okay, well, hour and 20 minutes. But keep in mind, I think it's designed to last about 3 hours. Um, So
Yeah,
I'm
especially if your computer is very slow.
yes, which ours was,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
very I'm excited that you also played that because yeah, not a lot of people have. Um, Siobhan, obviously growing up in England, you maybe didn't have the
Yes,
Muppets as
and
much as
especially in the
these
West
guys
Coast,
did.
we definitely had the Muppets because
Yep.
first of all of this stuff is shot in England.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol. Me and my sister are. I can't. We watch it every year. We're quoting the whole thing. We're singing all of the songs. It's annoying to be around. And Muppet Treasure Island also just wonderful. And then growing up in the West Country, Treasure Island itself is like a big West Country story. It's all like Devon and Cornwall and Bristol, and the pirate accent is based on the Bristol accent, which is where I'm from. It's where I went to university, and so it feels very homey to me. It feels like I'm going home a little bit.
hmm Matt, can you talk about casting Siobhan and Erica?
Uh, yeah, it's just a fortune upon fortune. It's just wonderful to have both of them. Yeah, it's Erica is when we were going to New York for the Muppets Take Scriptland, I was talking to our mutual friend Sax, and we were talking about some casting and things that I had to do out there, and I didn't have a lot of people in New York. And Sax was like, "Well, by chance, Erica is going to be there too for my birthday, and if you can get Erica in there," I was like, as soon as he said it, I was like, "No, Erica needs to play Rizzo. That's just that's the casting forever, please."
Yeah.
So we got to talking. We realized that I realized that we had filmed a like a short video a long time ago for Loot Crate together,
Mhm.
when that was
Oh
still a thing
wow.
that was around, and
Mm.
so we got to reconnect. And when she got on stage, it was just like the slam dunk. Like there's
hmm
nobody else that can do Rizzo now.
Yeah,
So
Erica
this
does
is
have big Rizzo energy.
Thank
absolutely,
you.
Always
yeah.
jelly beans in their pocket at all
Like
times.
truly, I will be snacking. I will be
Yes.
snacking. When for Christmas Carol, Matt sent me like a list of like, oh, these are different, props that you may want to get, these like foods,
hmm
and I was like, I'm already on it. I had already rewatched and made a list of all of the foods that I needed.
hmm
Came prepared, my own baguettes, my own jelly beans, little
Apples.
bean bags. Yeah, apples,
hmm
apples. Yeah, I love Rizzo so much. It's just such a little guy, and I think,
Yes.
my
It's
parents
so
are
fun
both
to
New
play a
Yorkers.
coward.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little coward, and he's fussy, and
Yes.
just absolutely zero awareness of anything that he could do that is wrong. But he loves his best friend. You have to have a coward and an absolute outgoing extrovert.
Yes.
That's a wonderful little sort of like like an
Double act.
R2D2, or yeah, or a
Yeah.
C3 and
Yeah.
C3PO. There's like all of these duos that are really, I feel like he is in the comedic inheritance,
Yeah.
of that dynamic. And it really is an honor to play Rizzo. And I think the New York accent, it's just so easy for me. My parents are both New Yorkers. I cannot believe that it worked out that way,
Have you
Matt.
uh
Like,
have you started a prop list for this one yet, Erica?
no, because I've been waiting. My girlfriend has never seen Muppet Treasure Island
Oh my
before.
God.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
I
crazy.
know. I know, right? It's
Yeah.
wild because, there's just certain films that you like always watch and take for granted, and then somebody you love says they haven't, and you're like, I've
Yeah.
been remiss.
Yeah. It's
hmm
one that I had not watched for a long time. And then I also I had a friend who had not seen Muppet Treasure Island and was like, okay, great. We actually did a double act that was Muppet Treasure Island and Priscilla Queen of the Desert. And
What a double
it
feature.
was a
Wow.
absolute banger of a double act that they had
Yeah.
not seen either of these movies. It's like, well, these are two of my favorite movies. We have to watch them both immediately.
That's good
you put those two
programming.
movies together,
Thank
and that
you.
is Siobhan. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, there we go. That's it. That's two of my letterbox four.
Siobhan, you played Lady Holiday in Caper.
Yes, I'm committed to only playing humans
Only playing humans and
in these
and English
Muppet
humans,
readings
I've noticed as
and
well.
English
Well,
humans,
I
which
only know
again there
one
are a lot
British
of.
person, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's helpful for me. I'm really
yeah.
I'm the diversity hire British edition.
I'm just trying
What?
to think if there's any Australians in any of the films so that I can get a gig because I think I'm the only Australian, Matt. But unfortunately,
I think so. Yeah, maybe. No, I was gonna say Jermaine Clements, but that's New Zealand, so
yeah, don't
Yeah,
confuse us.
no.
But Siobhan, how are you finding taking on the role of Hawkins?
it's so fun. I mean, I feel like it's such a classic. Um, like obviously it's a boy playing it in the movie, but it does feel like a trouser role. It does feel like like Viola in Twelfth Night or something. That's
Mm-hmm.
like there's a lot of jokes that are funny because it's a woman playing him.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
literally at some point he's like, and I'm not a girl. Great. I'm gonna have so much fun.
There's I won't spoil it on mic here, but I added a little extra to the end of that line that I think will
Amazing.
give us a little extra joke on that. Yeah.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, you've also got Blind Pew calling Jim a pretty
Yes,
little girl
little
at one point.
girl.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
little girl.
Yeah.
Blind Pew, one of the scariest characters in fiction. I remember seeing a non-Muppet version of Muppet Treasure Island as a young child and remembering being like absolutely terrified of Blind
Yeah.
Pew.
Yeah.
So scary because you're just like in your inn, you've never left your inn, you're lightly abused by the landlady, and then all of a sudden pirates are in your house and they're trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. They just need to be performed by Jerry Nelson and we'll be fine. Um, well, with Hawkins, because it's a bit more of a straight role than, say, Rizzo
Yeah.
or any of the others, where are you landing on that scale of like respecting the source material to like, no, I want some damn laughs and I'm just gonna go for it.
I think actually the voice of reason often gets more laughs than anybody else
Mm-hmm.
because the crazy person isn't funny if there's not somebody reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think, sorry, this cat's fighting right behind me. I do think like me playing an incredibly naive boy is as funny as I need it to be. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to lean into anything more than that. That's very juicy for me.
Yeah.
I will play it as straight as I can within those parameters, and that's what makes it funny.
Yep.
Because Jim is, God bless him, nobody is trusted more trustful than Jim Hawkins. He
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely accepting of
Yeah.
everybody immediately.
Credulous.
Credulous. Just so excited to be included.
Yeah, I think you could write a whole or do a whole essay on the role of earnestness in
Yes.
Muppets and Muppet actors.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that, Jim Hawkins and the Jim role is like one of those like very straight ahead, very, very
Yes.
human sort of, it's the sort of Michael Caine in
Yes.
Christmas Carol, whereas obviously, the Tim Curry and some other human roles are there, they get to be big and goofy because they're
Yeah.
practically
Yeah.
There's that
Muppets.
thing of like Michael Caine was playing like he was the only human and everybody's a human, and Tim Curry is playing like he's a Muppet and everybody else is a Muppet.
Yeah.
And I think it's that like there's never a moment where Michael Caine looks into the camera and makes a meta joke, and
No.
Tim Curry does that like 5 times a scene.
Yeah.
And there's that great interview. I'm sure you've seen it. But maybe people haven't seen it, of him talking to his Muppet stand-in,
Mm-hmm.
which they made, I think, just for that interview. They made
Yeah.
a Muppet stand-in of Tim Curry that is so good and so funny. Like, the extras for this movie are top tier, and it
Mhm.
made me like, God, they don't make extras for DVDs like this anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Tim Curry's book as well, I've read, and he really has committed to the joke that he and Piggy had an affair.
Yes, I've seen that interview as well.
He's done the interview, and in his book, he does not let up. He just talks about having
Incredible.
an affair with Miss Piggy a little bit, and it's like I love the man. Um, Erica, you've played against multiple Gonzos. As of time of recording, I don't know if there's a Gonzo locked in. We'll move past that at the moment. But how does that change? Does that change how you take on the role, or are you just playing Rizzo?
For Manhattan, since it was like Rizzo's introduction, there's not as much interaction with Gonzo. It's not really until Christmas Carol that
Hmm.
they, and you know all the background for why they decide to pair up Gonzo and Rizzo,
Yep.
and that's really when the magic happened. And that's honestly, David Dastmalchian as Gonzo is
Mm,
such a revelation. It's just he understands just the mind of that weirdo so perfectly. And we met each other moments before the curtain went up for the matinee,
hmm.
Uh-huh.
and uh sort of a scene in we realized, oh, we're already, is it okay that we like have been like hugging and stuff each other? Are you know like retroactive consent, is that okay? We're like, yeah, it's good, and just immediately this rapport. And I mean, yeah, it when I say that his Gonzo elevated my Rizzo, I
Hmm.
mean it's just remarkable. And so, it's I'm so sad. I know he couldn't join us for this one, but I Matt's eye for casting is
Yeah.
uncanny.
I agree. Mm.
Thank you, thank you. It's something I'm very, very proud of, and I give major shout outs to my wife and co-producer Grace. She also helps me out a lot with casting. We sit down and really like look at who do we know, who are our friends, who do we want to work with, and it's just who can not necessarily do impressions. We're never really looking for impressions. It's just the embodiment of those
Hmm.
Yeah.
characters. And we're very fortunate that we get people like Mark Evan Jackson, who just is Kermit.
Mm.
He's up there and he's Kermit. We have Nina West, who is Miss Piggy. Like there's no
West is Miss Piggy.
separation.
It's just an astonishing career high performance. I
Mm.
feel like
Absolutely.
just so good. Like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
better than any Miss Piggy, but the OG.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
really embodies the, like, not only can do the voice perfectly, but really embodies the chaotic energy that Miss Piggy should have. Of I'm gonna mess things up. I'm gonna break things. Nothing can get in my way. I will kiss that frog.
Yeah, I saw like I've seen a couple of official Piggy things recently, and
Uh,
no offense, but yeah,
yeah,
Miss West
there. I feel like
absolutely
Mm.
blows it out of the water.
there needs to be, and there's a level of politeness, I think, to almost all the piggies, which it does not vibe with the correct. Piggy
Yes.
is impolite and
Hmm.
should be at all times rude and raunchy and not really listening to anybody.
Mm.
Yes. Yes,
In her
that's
own,
it.
she invented manifesting.
Yes. Yes, that's so funny. There is a core, like a
Yes,
core to each Muppet, and I think that you
yes.
really hit
She
upon
is Delulu
Piggy.
is the Salulu for Miss Piggy.
Yeah. Wow.
I love it. Matt, these guys have said that you have an eye for casting. We know you like to cast yourself occasionally in some of these smaller roles. Any little hints as to who you might be playing?
I am playing a role, and it's more of a necessity at this
Hmm.
point. This show, again, this one feels very much like a musical. There's Sailing for Adventure, for example.
Hmm.
There's 20 singing parts in that
Hmm.
song. There are 20 singers who are going to sing at least a few lines in that song. And so there was a lot of coordinating. I actually I made on paper a replica of the Dynasty stage with little cards for everybody's name, so I could figure out how the movements would
amazing.
work. It was incredibly detailed. And so for myself, the way that it could work out so that we could still have dead Tom was for me to play real old Tom. So that will be my role in the show. So I will be real old Tom, and pretty much every time you see me, I will have a skeleton with me.
Great.
Wonderful. Do we know who's playing Angel Marie yet? Because I'm hoping at one stage they're going to have the fruit hat and the hula skirt and the ukulele.
Oh, we'll have that. So we have cast Angel Marie. That's going to be Giovanni, our good friend.
Wonderful.
Incredible.
Oh my God.
Fantastic.
Yeah, perfect casting, right? Okay.
Perfect.
Giovanni in a bald cap.
Absolutely. And our co-producer Missy Steele is right now working on the big fruit hat that will go on Giovanni.
I love it.
Amazing.
And Giovanni will commit, and I'm excited to see it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Siobhan, I have a very, very important question for you.
Great.
Possibly the most
Love
important question of the entire podcast. Did you know 2 raccoons can fit up? I'm so glad you understood that reference, and the other 2 didn't.
I looked at my TikTok. I looked at my TikTok statistics, and the top search that led to my page was, "Did you know that 2 raccoons can fit up?" I did figure out what it was, which was 2 years ago. I'd stitched somebody who had said, "Do you know that you can fit 2 raccoons up through your butthole?" Because they were shooting it in Bath. Somebody had set up a camera in the place where I did because I briefly worked as an archaeologist in the place where I had done the archaeological dig, and was like, fun fact, this is this is where I worked as an archaeologist. So every time you see one of these videos, this is imagine me in the mud. So somebody, and I didn't figure it out. Somebody else figured it out and tagged me. But
yeah,
a very strange, why is this leading people to my page?
No, I did have a good laugh when I saw that video, and I was like, well, I need to ask Siobhan that question.
Yeah. So the riddle has been solved. The mystery has been
And the answer
untangled.
to the rest of the question was just as bothersome as I thought it would be.
Yes. Yeah, it's what you worried it would be.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. Look, as we start to wrap up,
What?
Just we're moving on.
I'm so confused the entire time.
About it. You can, Erika, you personally can fit 2 raccoons up your butthole.
Yeah.
2 quitters. I feel like that's for quitters. 2 is for quitters.
3.
You know what, Erika
at
calls
least.
2 raccoons up her butthole? A good start.
Let's move on. As we start to wrap up, I'm a giant Dropout fan. Erika, who would be your ideal Muppet co-stars for an episode of Make Some Noise?
Oh my God. Out of all Muppets?
All Muppets can be Sesame as well if you'd like.
Sesame as well. I feel like I think it might be all the chickens. Because I feel like they'd really actually take care of me in that way. They'd be really great support.
Yeah, they're generous performers.
They're very generous performers. I feel like I sometimes start out very timid, getting off the back line, but that they would be very good for sort of setting us up, initiating.
Yep.
And that they would definitely commit to any bit that I did.
Good choice.
I think it would be the chickens, yeah.
And Siobhan, which Muppets are you playing D&D with?
Animal. But that's
Great.
already what it's like playing D&D with Erika, so...
Yeah!
Yep. All right, well, who do you think could take on... Who do you think could take on Brennan's role?
Here's who I think could do it. I think Rolf could do it.
I was going to say Rolf.
Rolf, a jazz musician, so already great at improvising. Really good at knowing when to step forward and when to step back. A real good team player. I love Rolf.
Yep, that's a wonderful choice.
Especially since Bria has portrayed Rolf in prior.
True. Yeah.
Really
Oh, amazing.
I think also Scooter might be good. Scooter would be a little
Scooter's pretty
anxious, but,
grounded.
yeah.
He would be checking
keep...
in with you constantly to be like, am I doing a good job?
Yeah,
Is everybody happy? Am I doing a good job?
He would be very good at keeping everybody on track, though, I think.
That's true.
Yeah,
he has big AD energy, big assistant director energy.
I love it. Matt, have you been able to gaslight any of these guys yet into thinking this might be an episode of Game Changer?
I've considered it.
It could be. Still could be. I genuinely went to Raf Chestang's wedding with a little voice in the back of my head going, is this a game changer? It could be. He's gathered all of us together.
Yeah.
It could be.
I think so. The thing is, there are a handful of people that I don't think that Sam will do an elaborate ruse for, and then a handful of us that he certainly will not. Like, so Siobhan, Brennan,
I think he's too scared of me.
Lou, I think no. I mean, like, you guys had the escape room.
Oh yeah, he did lock us in an escape room.
He did, yes.
I feel like you were definitely on the yes list because, like. Like, people will be like, oh, Siobhan will lose her mind, but also will,
I did.
like, win. We'll win. I think for me that that he might be worried that I'd like try to break the game or the walls or in some way sort of like as the crow flies just sort of like get to the finish. And so I don't think that Sam will ever plan anything elaborate, to fool me, like, because I might start hitting people or something. That's the fear. I believe.
Yeah, the katana that you keep in your car at all time will suddenly be in your hands. Just
okay. It's just a boken, so it's not It's not actually. It's just wood. Okay.
Okay, I am still scared of you with a wooden sword.
Yeah.
I know how heavy they are. That's enough.
Yeah. Well,
Think
he
about how
has been here
breakable
the
all
whole
of these
time. Would you
improvisers
please
are.
welcome Sam? No. Matt, tell us who we're supporting for this script reading.
Thank you. I would love to. So for this show, we're going to be raising funds for the California Collaborative for Immigrant Justice, and I'm very happy about that. The CCIJ utilizes coordination, advocacy, and legal services to fight for the liberation of immigrants in detention in California, envisioning a world where no one is subject to incarceration or family separation. Things that I very, very strongly believe in. You can bleep it if you want, but fuck ICE. And this is what we're mostly going for here. Yeah.
Fuck ICE.
Fuck
3
us.
bleeps in a row.
I'm not bleeping that.
Fuck yeah.
I'll bleep that.
Okay.
Matt, tell us how we can get tickets. I believe they've sold out in person.
In person sold out. Listen, I want to thank anybody here who's listening that bought a ticket in person, because we literally sold out the theater in under 3 minutes, and it was insane. Crazy. And we are so happy about that. We are still going to live stream. We always live stream. We love live streaming. So you can purchase tickets for that at dynasty.tv. The live stream will go up live, and then it'll also be available for 2 weeks after. So you don't need to watch it live. You guys can watch it, or you can watch it again and again for those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I also highly recommend viewing parties. Or people getting together and watching the live stream together. That is always a good time.
Great choice.
And if anyone out there is doing a live stream, please take a viewing party. Take some photos, send it to us. I would love to see them.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Dress up.
Oh yeah, I'm talking fruit hat. I want to see everyone in a fruit hat.
Absolutely. Everybody, oops, all fruit hats.
Excellent. Erika, tell people where they can find you.
I am at Erika Ishii on most things. I have my website is back up again, erikaishii.com. I have a podcast, Worlds Beyond Number, with Brennan, Abria, and Lou Wilson. And yeah, I am so excited about this.
I'm excited to see you play Rizzo again. Siobhan, where can we find you?
Yes. I'm at Vaughny Tom across most platforms. Dimension 20 is streaming at the moment on dropout.tv. We're doing vampires in a small town, Oregon. And then I'm also crowdfunding for a movie called The Greatest Treasure in the World with a bunch of
Oh yeah.
our faves. And if you go to bit.ly/treasure film, you can find more information about that. It's a different, I'm doing only treasure related
Yeah.
content for the next 2 months. So fortunately this fit in with my schedule.
Perfect.
Well, that
And,
makes sense because you are a treasure.
Oh, Matt, you
I'm
suck up.
gonna throw up. And Matt, where can people find you?
They can find me at that Matt Wilkie on Instagram, as well as the Muppet Script at Instagram.
Perfect. Well, I'm looking forward to it. As I said before, shiver my timbers, shiver my soul. I stuffed that up. I'm gonna keep it in because that's just what I do. And thank you very much for being
Yo ho
here.
yo.
Yo ho yo.
And margaritas at the midnight buffet.
I'm just gonna let you guys go.